Let's use the Pythagorean Theorem to find the missing side of our right triangle. We'll use a calculator and round our answers to 3 decimal places. So to begin, the Pythagorean Theorem tells us that if we're given a right triangle with 3 sides, that one side squared, a squared, plus the other side squared, b squared, has to equal the hypotenuse squared, c squared, where the hypotenuse is the side across from the right angle. In our triangle to the left here, we see that we have 2 sides next to the right angle, so we'll label them as A and B. And we're interested in finding the side across from the right angle, which is side C. So let's take these 3 variables and plug them into the Pythagorean Theorem to solve for side C. So we'll first list the formula, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, and plug in 9 1/3 for both a and for b, and solve for side c. So this will look like 9 1/3 squared plus 9 1/3 squared equals c squared. Using order of operations, we're about to find 9 1/3 squared twice, add that answer up, and solve for c from that. To find 9 1/3 squared, let's use a TI-83 graphing calculator. So we'll enter in parenthesis 9 plus 1 over 3. 9 and is interpreted as plus 1/3, parenthesis squared. This becomes 87.1 repeating. So we'll write here 87.1111. Actually, let's write it to 3 decimal places. So 87.111 plus, since 9 1/3 squared again becomes the same answer, we'll write that again. 87.111 equals c squared. Next, let's add these two 87.111s together. So 87.111 plus 87.111 becomes 174.222. 174.222. That's equal to c squared. Well, we're now interested in finding some number that squared is 174.222, and to find that, we'll square root 174.222. So c will be the square root of 174.222. So second x squared, square root, 174.222, enter. C works out to 3 decimal places, 13.199. This is the number that if we were to square it would approximately be 174.222. We say approximately because we're only rounding our answer to 3 decimal places. If we used more decimal places, that squared would be a more precise answer to 174.222. However, c equals 13.199 is the answer to our problem. So this third side would have to be 13.199 feet. And we'll label that not only as our answer here, but for our hypotenuse, c would have to be 13.199 feet. And that's our final answer.